GM, welcome to Web3 Academy, your one trusted source to capitalize on the next big phase of the internet. Don't get caught in the hype cycle. I'm Jay Bird, joined by my co-host Kyle Reedhead, and we believe that Meta AI glasses are going to change the world. That's why we're carving a path for doers to confidently build and invest in Web3.
I showed my girlfriend those glasses yesterday, and she immediately looked at me and goes, "We're not wearing those. We're never going to wear those."
What? It's like, we're not going to change Heather's world, that's for sure.
But listen, this episode is going to change your world because we got a lot we're going to talk about. Pudgy penguins are in Walmart, 2,000 stores. This is a really big deal. NFTs have made it. $59 million in ARB tokens, which are unclaimed, plus a big-time airdrop that you might be able to claim. We'll talk about that. Xbox crypto wallet, is that a thing? Is that happening? Is Microsoft moving in on our crypto? Pokemon is, and because Pokemon is now on-chain, so we're going to, of course, talk about that. We'll talk about some non-on-chain stuff in terms of what ChatGPT is up to, as well as, of course, Meta and their new AI glasses. And then Gary Gensler, the most hated person in crypto, is getting ripped over in DC right now. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that as well. We've got a lot going on today, Jay.
Damn, I feel like I missed my intro. My intro should have been that we believe Gary Gensler is not going to change the world.
That is true.
I missed my opportunity to roast Gary. I couldn't jump on the Gary roasting that was happening all day yesterday.
Hey, there's always another week, my man. There's always another week.
That's true. Until he actually gets fired, which maybe he does. That would be crazy. Gratitude, Kai. It's so good to have you back. You've been off for 2 weeks. Excited to have you back. You want to start us off with some gratitude today?
Yeah, absolutely. I am grateful for my mother. We celebrated her 70th birthday last night. And so happy birthday to my mom, Sue. She's the greatest mom in the world, as I'm sure everyone likes to say about their own mom. And was excited to take her out for some dinner. We went to a Greek place and called Dimmy's in London, Ontario. And at the end, they give her a shot of orzo, I believe it's called. And then Ouzo, and then they give her a plate and she has to smash it. And it was so funny. That's what trying to smash this plate. She was like, "Oh no!" Like, it was hilarious. So anyway, happy birthday, Mom.
Happy birthday, Sue. What a gem. Just a beautiful human. Always got a big smile on her face. I'll never forget. Kyle and I lived together at one point a few years ago. We first started our business. And Sue came down and was just so helpful, helping Kyle set up his room and getting all set up. And she's just loves to help and also loves to paint. I remember her painting your room, I think. I don't know why that.
I don't know if that happened, but that's at my.
Oh, is your new
Toronto?
Yeah.
All right, what are you grateful for, Jay?
I am grateful for my dog Potato. He is absolute nut and drives me crazy half the time because he's got so much energy, but he gets me outside every day for at least 2 walks a day. And right now it's raining a ton in BC where I live, in Whistler in the mountains. We're just getting into rainy season. And if it wasn't for Potato, I would be probably more upset about the rain. But with him, I just have to get outside. I have to go for a walk and you just live with it. And now don't really care so much about the rain and still walking. So shout out to my little 4-legged guy, Potato.
You know, Jay, another missed opportunity. You should have been grateful for having me back, but hey, I'll forgive you.
I said I was happy that you're back at the beginning. You want double gratitude?
I'll be grateful. Double dip the chip.
You can't double dip, man. Okay, before we jump into today's episode, we got a couple exciting announcements out of Web3 Academy. Kai, we've been talking about moving our business on chain a lot over the past few months, and we just took another big step this week. What did we do?
Yeah, Jay and I have been talking about crypto payments for a while. We're talking about stablecoins, how that's the killer app for crypto. And so we've been moving our business on chain. As you guys all know, we've moved our newsletter on chain. We have our membership, which we have NFTs, which are, of course, on chain, and a bunch of other things. And so now the one big thing, and this came because of a few problems we're having with Stripe, is we have listeners from all around the world and readers of our newsletter from all around the world who want to pay for our products. They want to buy our masterclass, our investing course. They want to pay for the pro membership. And some people have difficulties with their bank accounts. If you're in India, if you're in places like Pakistan and Iran, you struggle to connect. At Russia, of course, right now, and many other countries around the world, you struggle often to use Stripe. Some you're just not allowed, and sometimes their banks just don't let you do it. And so one of the big things that we think crypto enables to the world is global payments, right? If you can use crypto, there's no one that can block you. It's peer-to-peer. And so anyone around the world can buy things digitally. And so that's why we have just launched crypto payments for our Web3 investing masterclass. So if you're looking to learn how to invest and take advantage of the next big phase of the internet, if you want to learn how to take advantage of this on-chain world that's coming, this masterclass is the best way to get the foundations to set you up for success. We launched the course a few months ago, and now we've enabled crypto payments. We've also just launched today a support for a few more chains. So you can purchase on Ethereum, you can purchase on Polygon, Solana, Arbitrum, Optimism, and Base. So there's 6 different chains. You can purchase in USDC, USDT, ETH, Matic, I think Sol even. So the list goes on. So lots of, whatever you've got, you can do it. You don't have to bridge and all these things. You can just, likely you have some crypto in one of those chains. And so you can just connect your wallet and do it. It's really cool to do. We're excited. We've had our first purchase, I think it was yesterday, which was on Polygon using USDT. So just interesting to see where people have their money, how they're going to pay for things. So we're excited for that. We will eventually get our membership on-chain as well. For those of you that want to sign up for Pro with crypto, a little bit more of work for the devs on that one because it's subscription, so it's a bit different. And then I guess actually to celebrate our crypto payments, we're also offering a 33% discount on the course, and that expires next week, I believe, on Wednesday. So the link is in the show notes below. If you want to get that course, you want to try paying with crypto, go do it. Now's your chance.
And now's the time to do this too, because we are in a early setup phase for a bull run that is coming at some point, not sure when, but now is the best time to be learning how to deploy your capital. And this course is going to give you the step-by-step guide to ensure that you can really significantly increase your wealth in the next few years.
Well, and actually that sets up perfectly. We're going to do a market watch. So I'm going to dive into that and actually talk about timing of the market right now and what's going on. But before we do that, we're going to take a quick second to hear from our sponsors, and then we're diving into market watch and all the news that's happening in Web3.
Modern newsletters are built on Paragraph. That's right. Paragraph is a brand new newsletter platform that combines the best parts of Web 2 and Web 3 to supercharge newsletters for both writers and readers. Build a community, not just an audience. Paragraph uses blockchain tech to allow readers to collect and own the words that matter to them. This takes reading a newsletter to the next level. With Paragraph, readers can mint, collect, and show off quotes from their favorite newsletters. This opens new possibilities like creators sharing revenue with fans. I also love their new feature, Paragraph AI. This integrates GPT-4 natively in Paragraph to create, edit, and improve your writing effortlessly with one click. And guess what? We at Web3 Academy are on board and have already moved our content over to Paragraph. We believe this is the future of newsletters because of the profound engagement it creates between creators and fans. So, whether you're a creator, writer, or an avid reader, it's time to check out Paragraph and capitalize on the opportunity of being early.
All right, friends, we are back. Let's talk about what is happening in the crypto markets right now. And really what we'll talk about first is actually what's happening in the broader macro markets. So I want to touch on what we can see up on the screen for those of you that are watching on YouTube, which is we think the ETH futures ETF is literally going live in the next couple days. I'll explain why in just a second. But before we do, let's just talk about macro. We're still in this very weird area of the transition. This is where you're going from sort of like the trough moving back upwards in terms of the business cycle that we've sort of been talking about, which is talking about inflation, interest rates, et cetera. Everyone is a little all over the place at the moment because inflation was falling really fast over the last year. And then it kind of got stuck and held up at 3%. We're actually kind of jumped up a little bit. And so people are, again, getting scared. A lot of people were predicting that this would happen, that we'd have this big jump up and we're going to go back up to high inflation. And so as a result, we're unable to lower interest rates, which is everyone's big concern. Then there's concern around growth and recession and blah, 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 blah. We've kind of talked about all of this. And my sort of view and thesis on what's been happening is inflation is going to continue to go down. I think we live in a very deflationary world at the moment. The inflation that we had that was so high was just supply chain issues, which has pretty much gotten resolved. And we're just following a typical business cycle. I don't think this is as confusing as most people think. And I still stand by that thesis today, even though most people are still tripping the hell out. And I'll tell you why. The main reason, so first of all, interest rates paused last week. And so we have stopped, at least in the US and most big countries around the world. Now, does that mean they're going to cut right away? Probably not. But here's the big situation. People are thinking because we went from 3% back up to 4% inflation, that we're going to skyrocket again and inflation's just out of control. This happens every single inflation cycle, which is basically every single business cycle. This is what always happens with inflation. It skyrockets down, and then as we're turning over, it stops and stalls. Sometimes it'll go up just a little bit, and then after a few months, it goes back down. Now, why does that happen? Well, what's happening is when inflation starts to go down, we can expect that interest rates will eventually go back down and growth begins to pick up, and we start the next phase of the business cycle. This is normal. That's the stage we're at right now. When you hit growth, okay, when you hit that business cycle part where there's growth and we're going to start having, potentially money printing and lower interest rates, what happens? People start to buy things again, right? Now, that's not happening today. This is 6 to 9 months in advance. But when people want to buy things, what do we need? We need to produce more goods. And so what's happening right now? Companies are beginning to buy more things, or getting ready to, which means commodity prices go up. The goods, the materials we need to buy things or to build things, those start to increase, right? That's what's happened. If you're in commodities right now, you've done really well the last 2 months, right? A lot of commodities have just skyrocketed, you've done really well. And this is again because companies are looking ahead, right? We're looking ahead in the business cycle. And so commodities have gone up, which is what's caused this blip in the inflation down cycle. Now, it's also happened at the same time, and this again always happens. The biggest part of inflation is shelter and rent. This part lags by, it's something like 9 to 12 months, I believe, something like that. It might be 18, I can't remember. And anyway, it's just rolling over right now. And that makes up about 60 to 70% of the entire CPI index, the thing that we measure, whereas commodities are only about 17%. So commodities might continue to go up, but it's not going to continue to make that big of a difference as long as shelter and rent goes down, which is what's about to happen. It's already beginning to roll over. So this always happens. Commodities go ahead of schedule. They start to pick up as shelter and rent and everything starts to go down. But we're in the phase where the shelter and rent hasn't gone yet, but the commodities have beaten it. And so this happens every single business cycle. If you look back, there's always this blip in inflation that occurs every single time. And so this is just normal and on schedule. If you compare the chart of this inflation in terms of percents, of course, we went up a little bit higher in terms of 9 because of the supply issues. But in terms of the percent change, it looks identical to every single one we've had over the last 30, 40, 50 years. So if you're really paying attention, then it looks like this is just the same typical type of recession. And I put that in quotes because we don't really know that we always have. And inflation should still continue to go down. It might take them another month or two for things to really change over here. But my guess is by the end of the year, inflation is much lower than it is right now. And so don't get scared and spooked like some are. It appears to be moving the same as normal. And to go with this, we have some good news finally in crypto that's coming up here. So if you saw, I think it was 2 days ago, the SEC unfortunately delayed the ARK Bitcoin spot ETF once, and they did it ahead of time. They didn't have to do it until a couple of weeks. They just did it. So people were like, oh shit, this sucks. The SEC hasn't quite figured things out yet. But what's happening is, and I'm not going to get into the politics of how this works, but the government might shut down in the US on October 3rd because of just, I don't know, whatever the government does, they haven't figured out funding. And so they're just going to shut down, and all non-essential government workers will just not work and not get paid, which is just ridiculous that that's the world we live in, but that's what's happening. So what the SEC is trying to do is get a bunch of things finished before that happens, which I believe is on the 2nd or the 3rd of October. So the beginning of next week. So what they're trying to do is just finish off a couple things. And there's 2 things that are happening. One, that one spot Bitcoin ETF was delayed. But what we're hearing, and this just came out this morning from Eric Balkunas, I believe is his name. He's the ETF expert. He's hearing that the SEC is actually going to quickly approve the Ether ETF, futures ETF, not spot, which they're supposed to do at some point next week. They're going to do it probably either Friday or Monday and pass that just to get it off their plate before everything shuts down. And so today there's Valkyrie has just launched their own Ethers ETF as a result. And then what happens is over what the SEC has said is they're going to go and approve. So everyone needs to finish their paperwork by Friday. So all the companies right now are in trying to get this done within 48 hours, which usually this takes much longer. And so whoever can get it done supposedly is going to get this approved on Monday, and they're all going to launch at the same time on Tuesday. So anyway, that's the word. I don't know for sure, but if that happens, that's super exciting and amazing for ETH and the industry at large. That's really cool. And then again, macro seems to be, in my opinion, looking quite well. We've talked August, September are tough months in crypto. October is where things really pick up. And so I think probably give it another week or so. And I think we're going to see some good things happening this month. Again, can't guarantee it. No one knows short term, but that's my guess. I think Q4 is going to be a nice quarter for this industry. So good things ahead, in my opinion.
Wow, that would be incredible if they push this through that fast. Amazing. And the government shutting down is just ridiculous, but maybe it's actually a good thing because it's putting a fire under their butt to get some stuff done. Make sure you guys are following us on Twitter if you're not, because we will keep you updated as to whether this gets pushed through. And this happens Monday, Tuesday. We could see some nice liquidity coming in starting on Tuesday when this starts to trade. We'll see. I mean, it's
just a futures. It is just a futures ETF. It's not spot, but it gives some legitimacy to ETH, which is kind of gives legitimacy to the broader space in terms of like Sloan and others. So it looks good.
It'll create lots of media potentially around ETF.
Yeah.
Around ETH.
Yeah. Good things coming.
All right.
So go get your course, pay with it with crypto, and you'll make more crypto by the end of Q4. Promise. I can't promise. I'm not going to say that.
Yeah, don't promise that. This is not financial advice. Disclosures included. One more thing that we forgot to mention off the top. Next Tuesday in our Discord, we're doing our monthly Eyes on Chain event. So that's actually also good timing. If you're trying to figure out, is this news happening? What's coming out? How do you react to it? How do you think about your investments? Show up to our Discord next Tuesday at noon Eastern. And we've got an hour-long event where we look deep on chain at what the trends are. So that will be another place where you can stay informed. Okay, let's go over to AI. Some big news coming out of both OpenAI and out of Meta. Kai, what is going on?
Yeah, we talk a lot about the exponential age, which is where a bunch of technologies are all converging and kind of adopting and reaching their inflection points all at the same time. That includes blockchain and crypto. That includes AI. That includes robotics. That includes like EVs, machine learning, so on and so forth. So obviously we've had a big year for AI. ChatGPT has been great for many. Well, ChatGPT just got a bunch of upgrades in the last couple of days. The big one that dropped yesterday is that ChatGPT can now browse the internet, meaning if you plug it, it uses Bing. So previous to this, ChatGPT only worked or knew information up to September 2021, which was like, that kind of sucks. Things move fast in this world. And so like a lot has happened since September 2021 and it doesn't know any of that. Now it can browse. And what's really cool is like, I asked it to find me the smart contract for a specific protocol. And you can see you can actually watch ChatGPT scan the internet. So you can see what sites it's on. And it went to it went to the Pudgy Penguins site. And then it went to Etherscan, went through Etherscan and found the smart contract address and then sent it to me. And I was like, whoa, that's really cool. So it can start to just like explore the internet. It can learn things from any website. It can get you things. So like that's just a massive unlock. But there's a couple more unlocks that ChatGPT just did, which is to add to this is just so massive. So one, you can upload pictures into ChatGPT now. Well, actually, so this will launch in the next 2 weeks, but they just announced this. You can upload pictures and it can understand what those pictures are and then give you advice from that. So one of the things you could do, the example they showed was someone needed to, I think it was like fix the seat of their bike. They wanted to move it up, but they didn't know how. So they took a picture of the bike and ChatGPT looked at the image and said, okay, you've got to move this, like you got to unlock this handle or whatever, and you're going to need some tool to do it. And so it explained how, it pointed out where it was, like, but you're going to need this tool. And so the guy was like, okay, I have this like tool case. Can you tell me if I have the tool? And he uploaded the picture of the tool case. And within that, it located the right tool that it needed with the right size and told him where it was, and then explained how he could go and change its bike seat. So like, think about you're on the side of the road and your car stops working. You open up the hood of your car and you have no idea how to fix an engine. Well, now you just take a picture of your engine and it starts walking you through what to do and how to fix it. Insane. Absolutely insane that it can do that. Now, look, is it perfect? No, but that's incredible. The other thing that it can do is, you guys remember Dolly, which came out a long time ago. They have a third version of it, which they've now integrated into OpenAI. And I think this is also coming the next 2 weeks as well, which means you can put whatever you want to ChatGPT and it will spit out an image of it. So you used to be able to do this just in the Dolly website, but it didn't have the ability to like learn and like keep talking to it. Whereas ChatGPT, you can keep teaching it the images you want, and then you can upload other images to show like, here's what it should be like. So the level of like usability of ChatGPT in the next couple weeks is just, it's just unbelievable.
I think we all need to reframe the way that we're thinking about AI. I think too many people are thinking about AI as it's going to replace me. That is the common narrative. I'm going to lose my job because of AI. AI is going to replace all the jobs. Reframe that. AI is your friend. AI is your partner that is going to well, let's not get into this dystopian future. It is a boost to everything that you do. And if you start using it now, and ChatGPT is the obvious tool to use because it has the most abilities, then you are just going to become more productive, more capable, more knowledgeable, faster, more efficient, all things that we all crave. And I don't know, all this fear, look, I get it. There is potential for AI to go and be dangerous in many ways, but like, I just think it's such a natural fit into our daily lives. And it's incredible the rate at which it's growing. They can now, like OpenAI just launched, a year ago? And now it's updating all these new features constantly because it's an AI itself and it's teaching itself. So it is also exponential in the way it launches features. So yeah, I think everybody just jump in and start using ChatGPT and you will benefit in enormous ways.
It's incredible. And if we move to Meta, this is why kind of we want to talk about this. So, well, first of all, let's go back to the on-chain world, which is what we care about here at Web3 Academy. And we think now, the more that ChatGPT is capable of doing, the more we need authentication through on-chain signatures. I don't know that people are realizing how important this is, and it's going to accelerate crypto so fast. Again, is it WorldCoin who does it? I don't know. Don't care. But on-chain media, on-chain everything is going to be needed to manage this whole AI revolution. So again, these two technologies are sort of like growing exponentially on their own, but then together they're forcing each other to grow even faster. So it's pretty amazing. But then we look at what just happened here with Meta. So you guys remember Apple launched what were they called? Apple Vision Pro. Yeah, which are basically these goggles. You wouldn't walk around with them, but you would, you might sit at your desk with them to play a game, but it was more for like work efficiencies that we sort of saw with it. Cool things like watch movies and stuff. They're really cool where it's like VR or AR. You can do kind of both with them. But again, you're not like using them out in your daily life. Well, Meta just launched smart glasses in partnership with Ray-Ban. So these are like, you could wear them. They actually look like the glasses I'm wearing on my face right now, almost the same. And these are sunglasses and or glasses. And you can walk around with them on, and they actually have AI built inside of it. And so the best thing you can think of here is think of what we just explained with ChatGPT and then put that in your glasses, okay? Where it can show you some augmented reality within the glasses, or it can speak to you. So here's some examples of what these glasses can do. I just said in ChatGPT, you could upload a picture of your bike and it could help you fix it. Well, now you don't even have to do that. You don't need to take a picture. You don't need to upload it. You don't need to do any of that. You just look at your bike and you say, hey, Meta, or whatever their AI is called, how do I fix my bike? And it just looks, it finds the bike from your glasses. There's a camera in the glasses, so no pictures needed. You don't need to pull out your phone or your laptop, and it just looks and it starts showing you in the lenses of your glasses. It doesn't take over your full screen, but it shows you almost like a chat and tells you what to do. Or I think it can speak to you. I'm not 100% sure. I haven't looked into that, but I think you can hear it as well. But I don't know, that seems odd. You'd need like headphones maybe. But anyway, doesn't matter how it relays the message. Either way, it can just immediately relay the message to you on like what pyramid you're looking at, what building that is, when it was created, why it exists, how to fix my bike, how to fix my engine. It can just do that directly in the glasses. You can look at a sign in a different country, in a different language, and it just immediately translates it for you. So right now you can do that with a Google app. I was doing this when I was in Portugal, where you can pull out your translation app, take a picture, and then it auto just like puts it in English for you and you can read it. Great, but you still got to pull out your phone, right? You've got to take the picture and then it does it. This just does it live automatically in your glasses. You don't even see the other language. You just see your language. Crazy. Then the other thing is, think about, you're FaceTiming and you want to show your parents your kids. You got to play with your kids and you got to hold your phone in your hand and let them be able to see what's going on. Well, now you can live stream, whether it's a call or live stream to Facebook or Instagram. You can literally go live and people just see what you're seeing because it's right in your glasses. So the development here of the hardware kind of things plus the artificial intelligence is just like completely next level. And it's happening so fast, right? Like we just had ChatGPT in November of last year. We're not even a year there yet. The the AR type of thing really just kind of didn't even take off, but like became this like sort of reality from Apple. But it was still these goggles that everyone's like, meh, I don't know. And there's $3,000. And now all of a sudden it's in our sunglasses, in our glasses. Like it's just happening so fast, guys. To think where we're going to be just in 2025. I don't think people are realizing how fast this is all going. It's pretty wild.
You know who's not going anywhere fast is our boy, Gary Gensler, because he is just getting absolutely roasted. Yesterday, he was in front of Congress being just attacked by everybody. Kai, you want to break down what happened here?
Yeah, well, actually, go to the other ones first before we show the Gary one. But so what's happening right now is obviously the U.S. has not been very fair to crypto. And honestly, the U.S. regulators have a lot on their hands. I mean, look at what we just talked about with the AI. How are they going to keep up with that? They've also got everything going on with a whole new financial system that we're creating here in crypto, and then a whole new internet, essentially, with this on-chain world. They've got to figure out they're losing control. They have no idea what's going on. They're still trying to figure out the internet. And now we have artificial intelligence, blockchain, like AI, AR, like VR, like it's next level. And so right now, obviously, we've got a lot of problems in the US, specifically with blockchain. And so Coinbase has been pushing a lot to try to get fair regulation, which we want regulation. And so they've created the Stand with Crypto. We've talked about it's been a free mint of ours for a while. But what they did over this past weekend, because Gary Gensler and a bunch of others are going into Congress or Capitol Hill to discuss crypto policies. So what they did is they had over 45 founders in the crypto industry. So Brian Armstrong from Coinbase, we had Matt, who we had on the podcast from XMTP, Kevin Owocki from Gitcoin, and many others who all showed up at Capitol Hill to talk with politicians, let them know like, hey, here's the products we're building. Here's how it's changing lives. Here's how we're hiring so many Americans. Like you guys need to get on board here and figure this out. And so they had over 45 founders show up, the whole Coinbase team in terms of like their legislative team, et cetera, all over there kind of rallying together and trying to promote that, hey, 52 million crypto owners in the US, they use crypto. Crypto is bigger in the US than Uber, right? So more people use crypto than they use like ride sharing apps. And so it's like, hey, when are you guys going to pay attention here and get on board? And so the funny thing, if you see on the screen here, Gary Gensler was, I'm not even sure what you call it, but he was up talking about legislation and stuff. Like he had a hearing basically. And so they were asking him a bunch of questions. And so in the background of this picture, those 45 crypto founders, they showed up and went behind him. And you can see a Stand with Crypto sign in the back there to his left over his shoulder. And then on the right, someone's holding up a phone with the NFT of the Stand with Crypto shield. And they're holding up their phone showing that as well. So they were kind of photobombing Gary Gensler while he was doing his hearing, which is pretty funny. So people were asking, is Bitcoin a security? Is ETH a security? And Gary's doing what he does, where he kind of just jumps around and doesn't really give a clear answer. And so this gentleman, Richie Torres, comes up and he goes, if I were to purchase a Pokemon card, would that be considered a security? And Gary Gensler's like, no, I don't think so. And he goes, okay. Now, if I were to tokenize that Pokemon card on a digital exchange via a blockchain and buy that Pokemon card, would that be considered a security? And basically, he didn't say yes, but he said, I don't know. It would depend. And he's like, why would that depend? But if I bought the physical one, why would that not matter? You said no to this one, but you said it might be for this one. What's the difference? And he's like, so basically, just because it's wrapped as a token, now all of a sudden that means it's a security. And Gary just like didn't really know what to say. He kind of got him on it. It was a really good comparison. And so anyway, Gary's just getting crushed out there. You kind of feel bad for him, but not really, because it's live streamed to the internet so everyone can watch. Anyway, so this is all to say there's a bunch going on in Capitol Hill right now, and a lot of really solid founders in the industry are kind of leading the way and helping push good regulation in the US, and hopefully that happens. If not, we're moving forward anyway, but maybe the US will be with us. We'll see.
It does feel like it's building up to a tipping point that's coming soon, though. I don't know when, and the government shutting down, how long that lasts.
Coming soon. The government's about to go on vacation.
Yeah, exactly. So, but it does definitely, you can feel the energy, you can feel the pressure, you can see, if you go and watch any of this, that there is more and more congressmen on both sides, the Republican and the Democrat side, that are frustrated with the way Gary Gensler is handling this. There's more and more people from within the SEC. There's been 2 SEC commissioners that have come out and said that their way that they are regulating NFTs is wrong. So it's just like more things piling. And I think that we will reach an inflection point soon. But like you said, Kai, it doesn't matter. We're moving forward regardless. So
it's decentralized protocols. There's nothing they can do about it. And it's global, so it doesn't really matter. I mean, the US obviously is a big market, so we want it. And I mean, we're about to talk about an airdrop, and we got to say the US cannot be a part of it. We're going to talk about that next with Celestia. So it's a tough world out there for America, that's for sure.
Well, before we talk about that, you know what else is global is Walmart. Walmart,
that's true,
is now selling Pudgy penguins. That's right. This is a huge step for really the entire NFT industry. Shout out to Luca Netz and the whole Pudgy Penguins team. You will now be able to purchase your little Pudgy Penguins plushies for $9 in a Walmart. They'll be in
$8.98 in typical Walmart fashion.
Hey, thank you. So let me just give you the TLDR on this. There's 26 different Pudgy toys sold in Walmart. The prices actually range from $3 to $12, but the one that we're currently showing on screen is $8.98. And here's the cool thing. How does this involve Onchain? This is just a little toy. Well, when you buy this toy, it comes with a QR code. If you scan that QR code, you get access to Pudgy Worlds. You unlock an entry into their immersive metaverse. And the way you enter is when you scan that QR code, you claim an NFT, which is actually a soulbound NFT that then now you're in their Pudgy world. It's on Polygon, this NFT. And the other cool thing that they're doing here is there is golden tickets. So random toys come with a golden tickets, which, what does that golden ticket do? It unlocks rare traits in Pudgy World. So you might get something more rare. Now in Pudgy World, if you get rare traits, those are actually not soulbound tokens. You can sell those. You could also buy them. So you could win something that could be worth a whole bunch of money. You can imagine some kid unlocking a rare trait. I feel like the cool thing about this is like, I can just imagine the number of kids that are going to buy these, and then they're going to go and scan the QR code and enter Pudgy World, and their parents are going to have no idea that their kid is using crypto now and has NFTs, because this is how it will happen. It'll happen in this account abstracted way where it's not necessarily with the purpose of NFTs. It's with the purpose of just playing in this metaverse and playing this game, being able to interact with your penguin online.
The thing I love about what Luca Netz has done is he's just created a business, right, with an amazing brand that will go mainstream, has nothing to do with crypto and NFTs at all. But underneath, there happens to be a technology that allows you to do a cool experience by minting an NFT. You don't even know it's an NFT. Now, there's a collection of NFTs, of course, that people speculate on that are on the side. But people buying these toys have no idea that exists. They don't need to know exist. They don't need to ever interact with it. And none of it actually matters. There's just a mainstream business of toys and an Instagram account that's massive. And probably they're going to create a TV show or what, like, who knows where they're going to go with it. They can do lots with it. And it's just a brand of characters. And that is absolutely amazing. What I really like about this is, you know, we talk about on Monday, or Tuesday, I guess, when the podcast came out, we talked about Speculation Plus, you know, how blockchain allows for speculation in on-chain apps. And a certain amount of people are going to like that, like Friend Tech, and that's fine. And they can do that. That's where the regulatory concern is the speculation side of crypto. And okay, so that's maybe a good thing, maybe not a good thing. Like, who knows where that goes? But then there's the other side of blockchain, which just allows for better experiences in non-speculative things like toys and entering into a metaverse using a soulbound NFT where you can't make any money off of it. There's nothing you can do with it. You just can use it because that's what enables you to have interoperable experiences on the internet. There is no speculation. There is no worry of any security or anything like that, right? Then you have stable coins, which is the same thing. There's no speculation. It's just a dollar that happens to be on better rails. Like what I'm saying is there are use cases on blockchain that just have nothing to do with the speculation degen side that are going mainstream. And that to me makes this whole space inevitable, is you have both sides of it. And this is like Pudgy Penguins is just leading the way in that. I love it. It's like we use, NFTs for our pro membership. It's not a security. There's nothing you can do with it. It enables us to give you access to certain things. And that's, to me, the beauty of on-chain stuff, is just that it can do more things for you. I think that's just super cool. Now, in this instance too, you got to admit that NFT gas fees are being paid, not by the user. I think it's being paid probably by Pudgy, and not right now, but when Polygon becomes an L2 on Ethereum, those fees will go to Ethereum as they usually do. They will go towards Matic. And so again, holders of those technology tokens, the protocol tokens, they will benefit from kids buying toys, which is unheard of in this world. So really cool.
The other question that I think comes up for everybody here is, when we see an NFT project like Pudgy launching products that they're selling, does it accrue value to its holders? Right.
I was going to ask.
All keep asking that, right? Like, what is the value accrual plan for NFTs? Well, in the case of Pudgy, they have licensed these 26 characters from the original NFT holders. I can't find, the last time I heard, this isn't on-chain yet, and they haven't like publicly released this, but the last time I dove into this, I wrote a pro report on Pudgy a few months ago. If you want to get the full story, you can go back and look at that. And basically what Lucas said was, right now, because it's so few of these deals that they're doing, like they're only licensing 26 characters, right?
And there's 10,000 Pudgy Penguins probably?
There's 10,000, exactly.
Yeah,
sorry, there's 8,888.
Okay.
And they're just doing these as like one-off deals basically right now. But their objective is to build an on-chain way that they can do these licensing deals. And that's what everyone thinks is Project Overpass. If you guys follow Pudgy closely, the thing that they've been talking about for over a year now is Project Overpass. And I believe that Project Overpass is them figuring out how they're going to do these licensing deals, how they're going to accrue value to their NFT holders. And they keep saying that is coming soon. So we'll keep an eye on that, because that will likely give us more hints as to how they're doing that. The other thing is, look, when news like this comes out, Pudgy went up, right? Like Pudgies are up 10%, maybe even 15%. They're now the number 3 PFP behind just Punks and Apes. They flipped over top of Mutant Apes.
Wow.
Talking about the number 3 PFP collection in the world. And they're up. So like there is this, just like investing in stocks, right, and equities, when there's news about your company that is favorable, the stock goes up. And so that is another way that value does accrue to the holders.
Well, and I mean, that's just speculative value. There's nothing, like you said, there's no real value accruing to the holders. So it's just speculation on that news. It doesn't mean anything really. But also it's like, when did Luca buy this company? When did he buy Pudgy? Was it 2021?
Like 2 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, also you got to think like Pudgy's been around for 2.5 years in existence. I wouldn't even want them to give any value to anyone yet. They should be focused on building the biggest brand in the world. And then eventually they can give me a share in 5 to 10 years, because that's how companies work. All the best companies in the world, Apple, Google, etc., they weren't profitable in their first 2 years. They weren't giving money to their shareholders in their first 2 years. It took 15, 20 years before Apple was able to start doing that, right? It took many years for most of these companies to start doing that. So like, for anyone to already be like, okay, well, you're now in Walmart, you got to give me money because I own your PFP. That's just stupidity. You shouldn't even want that, right? You should want this brand to gain its IP. They should be putting all of their money and their profits from these toys into growing the brand to become a world-renowned brand. And then you can figure out how to get your shares. So like, if I were Pudgy, I wouldn't even be figuring out that yet. Like, that's years away. You should be focused on that. So like, it's good they are. Because of the state of NFTs, you kind of have to do that because people just get all angry. But like, I would care less about that right now, and I'd focus on just building up the business and then find a way to bring the value back to the holders.
Now, if you were On-chain investor, Kai, would you be figuring out how to collect your Arbitrum tokens?
You're great on the transitions today and very impressive. I mean, I've already claimed my Arbitrum token. So the answer is yes, I guess I already did it. But the crazy thing though, is there's $56 million worth of Arbitrum tokens that have been unclaimed. What are they going to do with those tokens if they don't get claimed?
It is done. They did not get claimed.
The
deadline is passed, and they have now been put back into the Arbitrum treasury. So it's the Arbitrum Foundation that manages this treasury. There's two organizations within Arbitrum. There's Onchain Labs, which is the centralized company that runs Arbitrum and founded Arbitrum. And then there's the Arbitrum Foundation, which is the DAO, essentially, that is the decentralized arm that controls the treasury. So this $56 million goes back to the treasury. Not such a bad thing in that way.
Well, it's controlled by the token holders. So
exactly.
That's how the DAO was made, and that's why it exists. So now they can use that to grow and to give grants to other companies to build on Arbitrum. So that's great. Like, why not? Crazy that people didn't do it. I think the reason it happens is a lot of people lose their wallets, they lose their seed phrases, and so they are unable to then go and claim. And I don't know why else it would happen. People just don't realize. Some people probably tried to farm it with 1 million wallets and just forgot they have certain wallets too. Yeah, it's pretty wild.
It's also right now, Arbitrum Odyssey started 2 days ago. So this is their version of Onchain Summer. So if you are active with your wallets and you do use Arbitrum, make sure you check out Arbitrum Odyssey, because there's going to be lots of opportunities to have fun and play on chain, which is great. This isn't necessarily all speculation. A lot of it is just marketing and free NFTs and free things that you get for actions on chain. So make sure you check that out if you're in Arbitrum, because I think that's a great way for people to get involved and not necessarily have to spend money.
And you'll probably get an airdrop. Don't quote me on that.
I wasn't going to say it.
But speaking of airdrop, Celestia, we've talked a bit about them. We haven't really dove deep into Celestia much, but they're a data availability layer. We won't go into the technicalities of it, but we always talk about the unbundling of the blockchain, and there's going to be different layers, et cetera. Celestia has been the one focusing on data availability. One of the top in the space for this. Who was it? Eclipse, I think we saw, is using Celestia for data availability, Ethereum for settlement, Solana virtual machine for execution, so on. So anyway, they've been around for a while, and they have just launched their Genesis drop. So they're decentralizing governance over the technology, just like what Arbitrum DAO did. And in order to do that, they've got to give out some tokens. And so they have done that. There's 7,579 developers in 500,070. Let me try this again. 576,000 on-chain addresses that will get tokens. Now, here's the cool thing. You did not ever have to use Celestia to get a token. The way that they've done this is whether you use Cosmos or you use Ethereum in the Ethereum ecosystem, you may be eligible. So and it goes by activity on layer 2. So the top 50% of wallets that are active on layer 2s, and it's there's 10 different layer 2s. So they're all the Optimism base, like Arbitrum, et cetera, all included in there. If you're top 50, which you'd be surprised, just a couple actions will get you top 50, you can claim some tokens. So I was able to claim, I think it was 94 on my active wallet, and then I have another wallet that I can claim as well. I haven't done it yet because it's actually my cold wallet, so I'm a little bit scared to interact with any smart contract address with it. So I don't know what I'm going to do. This could be why people don't claim as well. I'm thinking of not claiming just in case they rug. They would then be able to take all my tokens, and so I'm worried to go and claim it with that wallet. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. I have Join Fire, which is think of it like an antivirus type thing that tells me if they can do it, and they can't. You never know. And I'd be very worried to put my main wallet.
It's always a question of what's the risk, right? So obviously, you'd be claiming, is it worth it to claim a couple $1,000s to put, a lot at risk, right?
Yeah. I could move all my assets to another wallet. I just I don't know, just see
so much work and time.
We'll see. Probably at, when there's 1 hour left in that countdown, I'll just do it because urgency and FOMO, but we'll see. Anyway, go claim it. There's going to be a lot of links on Twitter and elsewhere that will be probably farming and fake. So don't get caught up. It's genesis.celestia.org. That's the website. Don't click on any other link that isn't that. Okay? That's that. And the token is TIA. I don't know what that means or why they chose that, but that's the token.
And if you go to the website, you can check your availability. So don't feel like you need to know if your wallet has these tokens. The amazing thing about Onchain is all you have to do is give a wallet address, you click a button, and it will check if you have any tokens available. In the same way, I just want to highlight our friends Ryan and David over at Bankless, and the whole Bankless team launched a new product called Claimables recently. If you haven't checked this out, highly recommend you do. It's on their website, and all you do is you post your wallet address in, and you click a button, and it tells you if you have any claimables available to you. A claimable could be an airdrop, it could be a POAP, it could be an NFT, and it does this all with the click of a button, so you can make sure that you don't miss out on anything that is available for you on chain that you might not know about.
Were you missing anything, Jay? I assume you used it.
Yeah, I was missing like a bunch of POAPs, not nothing of value, just a bunch of POAPs that show that I did things on chain, but I want the money. Come on.
Jay's not here for the tech. He's here for the money.
Right. Okay. Next up, Xbox. Is Xbox getting a crypto wallet, Kai?
I don't know. You tell me.
Here's the story here. A leaked document came out of Microsoft, which showed their plans for their next Xbox. Now, let me just caveat this by saying this document is, 1 or 2 years old? I think it's 1 year old. I think it's from 2022. And this new Xbox is not even planned to be manufactured yet. It's going to come out in like 2026, 2020.
I know 2028 is what I thought I read. Yeah, I think that's what I saw.
So we're talking about a leaked document that is, possibly accurate, possibly not. But let's assume, because it's fun when you find a leaked document, that all this could be real. And one of the key things in this leaked document, this document talks a lot about, it's almost like it was like a brainstorming document about like, okay, what is all the tech that we could include in the next Xbox, right? And one of the things that they talk about AI, but they also talk about, okay, would it be smart to include a crypto wallet in the next Xbox? Xbox is a piece of hardware. You could make the Xbox a hardware wallet, which would make a lot of sense for a couple of reasons. One, we are seeing tremendous growth in on-chain gaming. Well, I shouldn't say tremendous growth. We're at the early phases of seeing growth in on-chain gaming. You can go back a few weeks ago. We had Kolosh, the co-founder of Parallel, on the podcast. What they are building, holy moly, it is going to take over the gaming world. And that's just one game. We know that there's many. We've looked at IMX, Immutable, recently in some of our on-chain reports. We are seeing tremendous growth on their end through a bear market because more and more builders are building games on-chain. So when that happens, everybody's going to need a wallet. And what's even better than a wallet is a hardware wallet. So imagine, rather than a ledger, imagine your Xbox was your hardware wallet. So for all of your gaming assets that you're using to play on your Xbox, they are now secure within a hardware wallet, a safe hardware wallet on your Xbox. It makes a ton of sense. I think this is for sure going to happen, to be honest. If I was Xbox, I'd almost be I'd be timing the launch of my next Xbox around when the industry is ready for this, right?
Yeah, that's interesting. So to be clear, this document went like viral on Twitter. Everyone was like bullish, bullish, bullish. This was a document from May 2022, which means that this is a document before the collapse of Terra Luna, 3AC, like Celsius, BlockFi, FTX, like before the world hated crypto. So my assumption is this is not something they're moving forward with right now. But if they're still years away, I think the whole like reputation of this industry will change. Like you said, gaming will be, widely adopted, we assume, in the next year or so. So my guess is this goes back on the table, but I would bet they're not really talking about it right now, unless they happen to have some like real crypto people in the business. But yeah, everyone is screaming, going, "This is so bullish!" Like it's not yet, but it would be really cool. There's a lot they could do with it, which would be sick.
I also love when like leaked documents like this come out. Like I swear that this is not leaked. Like if this was leaked, I'm sure somebody in Xbox did this.
Well,
this is just like
no, this was leaked because it's a document they had to show because they're merged with someone, Activision or something. I can't remember who it is that they bought in the UK. They're trying to block it, so they had to show some documents. So this was part of that. That's what I read anyway. But probably because I don't think you'd be leaking crypto stuff right now. We're not at the point in the bull market. Yes, everyone will be leaking everything to do with like, yeah, we were in crypto earlier. We want to launch crypto stuff. I don't think that's like a good PR strategy right now, especially in the gaming world. No way.
Truth. Gamers hate NFTs. Why would you? It's like just like hate tech. Why would you do that? It makes no sense. Okay, Ethereum is one of the fastest growing companies in the world, Kai. Explain this to
potentially. So this, I mean, it's not a company, so that's even makes it even more interesting. But there's a chart we have up on the screen here, which is really cool. Which is so Ethereum surpasses $10 billion in revenue within 7 years, and it basically outperformed every other company in the world. So you look at what other companies do we have here? Sales,
every other tech company.
Sorry, yeah. We have Tesla, Microsoft, Salesforce. I'm not even sure what somebody says. That Shopify, maybe. Yeah.
Zoom.
And the only one that beats, so Meta, you have Alphabet, Meta, and Ethereum all at just before the 7-year mark. Everything else is, almost 10 years back. So basically you have the three biggest, you have Meta, Google, and Ethereum that all reached it in this amount of time. What's interesting though is Alphabet and Meta did this with tons of investment, tons of like hundreds and hundreds, thousands of employees. Ethereum has 0 employees and also 0 expenses in terms of offices and paying employees and buying pens and computers and whatever else. And so somehow Ethereum's going to do it. So like, hopefully TradFi sees that and that makes them just go, whoa, wait, what? Like, that's pretty crazy. And so I think it just adds to the success that we've seen with Ethereum, with crypto. Most people, again, aren't seeing it, but hey, it's one of the fastest growing companies in the world. It's not even a company. Wrap your head around that, TradFi. Like, you can't. It's pretty cool to see that.
It's amazing if you look at the market cap of the top tech stocks in the world. Bitcoin would be number 7, and Ethereum would be, I think it's like 14 or 15, right? Like, so everybody out there who's, fading these Bitcoin and Ethereum because they're like, oh, it's not legit, it's still a scam. And that's the crazy thing. A lot of people still believe that. You're talking about 2 pieces of tech that have, in a very short period of time, become within the top 20 tech in the world by market cap. And yet, as Kai said, they're not even companies. They're decentralized.
Well, here's the other thing to help people wrap their head around. Where does the revenue come from Ethereum? We've talked this a ton, so most of you listeners should know. That's from gas fees, right? Every fee that's paid to transact on Ethereum is essentially revenue to the Ethereum ecosystem. Now, previous to September 2021, whenever the merge was, all of that revenue went to miners to pay for their electricity, to mine and secure the blockchain. So it was essentially wasted and leaked out. Since the merge, most of that revenue, well, some of that revenue goes to now stakers. So people who are just, staking their ETH, and they're actually earning a passive income as a result of that. But the bulk of that money is actually just being burned now, since the burn was launched last year, or 2 years ago now, I think it was. And so of that 10 billion revenue, well, whatever's happened in the last 2 years, all of that revenue is either being burnt, okay, making the token less scarce, more scarce, or it's being just given to other token holders that are staking. No other company in that list here is doing that. 90% of the revenue of every other company is going towards expenses, right? And then the profit, whatever profit that is going towards the executive staff and the investors, the holders of that, which are, I guess these are all public companies, so anyone could buy that now, but it took a long time for that to occur. Whereas ETH, 100% of all the revenues is going towards the ETH holders, which is just unbelievable.
Incredible.
It's just a whole new world.
It's a whole new world, and Michael Saylor is leading us into the Bitcoin. So Michael Saylor, owner of Microstrategy, founder of Microstrategy, has acquired 5,445 more Bitcoin in the since the beginning of August. So basically in the last 2 months at an average price of $27,000. So that's another $147 million in Bitcoin. That puts MicroStrategy's Bitcoin holdings up to over 150,000 Bitcoin at a value currently of $4.7 billion.
Which is funny because he's also at a loss. He bought them at an average price of $29,500. He's at a loss. Now, look, we're all at a loss right now, right? Well, most people are, not everyone, but he started buying in 2020 before the market took off, and he just bought all the way through and all the way up, all the way down. And so, like, to be sitting here in the lows that we're in, ready for another bull market, and you're almost at even with $4.7 billion, I would say he's sitting pretty right now. That's for sure. That's a real nice position to be in, I would think. Although, I mean, he's got billions of dollars in debt, but he took all that debt out 2 years ago when interest rates were zero, and he did it on a fixed. So he's literally paying nothing for his debt, and yet he's got 160,000 Bitcoin. So I'd say that's a pretty good trade, but let's see.
Feels pretty good to be sitting here, and however everyone's bags are doing right now, here's a guy who just acquired $150 million of Bitcoin over the last 2 months, even though his bags are currently underwater, right? Like, there's some really smart people that are really pushing hard to invest in this space and continue to push in. So take that as a sign.
Smart or completely deranged? Hard to tell.
Yeah, he is totally deranged. Completing that, actually, but I respect his conviction. That's for sure.
Yeah, me too. Okay. I do too.
Coming back to Pokemon cards, Kai, you mentioned Pokemon cards earlier when Gary Gensler got roasted for questioning if a Pokemon card is a security. Well, this is the reason that was brought up is because this week, Courtyard.io, which is a startup company that takes physical collectibles and tokenizes them on chain, they have launched the sales of Pokemon cards. Now, let me be specific. These are physical Pokemon cards. So basically, what is happening is people can go and you can buy an NFT, which gives you ownership of a pack of Pokemon cards. Now, this is an unopened pack of Pokemon cards, and you buy it. I think they sold, this was like a beta, basically. They're testing this. I think they sold like a couple hundred of these packs at like $5, right? And they've already gone up 10x. They're now worth $50. Now, these are unopened packs. So once you buy the pack, what happens is this company, Courtyard.io, or maybe it's actually Brinks, who is their safety partner, their security partner, they open the pack for you and reveal what's inside. And you now have ownership of those cards that are inside. And now some of those cards, they're going to be worthless, so to speak. I mean, they'd be worth something if you wanted to play the game. But what you're looking for is in these packs, there might be a grail. There might be a rare card. And if that rare card is in that pack, okay, let's say you open this pack the normal way, you would then have to go like vault that, basically somehow keep it fresh and secure. So like put it in a case and, keep it somewhere in your house. And then you probably want to sell it because it's, you bought this pack for $5. You were hoping to make more. Let's say you got a card in there that's worth 500. Now you want to go sell it. Well, it's difficult to sell a physical card, right? But what Courtyard is doing is they're saying, okay, we'll vault the physical card for you, but you have an NFT that proves your ownership of that physical card. And now you can go and sell that NFT on a much more liquid market in a much more seamless and frictionless way. So you can really see Courtyard's a fascinating company. I'm actually chatting with them to get them on the podcast in the next month or so, because they see that there is a huge opportunity in physical collectibles, whether it's like sneakers or purses or art, all these things that currently people pay a lot of money to like securely store them, which is a pain in the butt. And then people have to, trading them and selling them is a goddamn, is an nightmare.
To get art from one country to the next, or one person.
Exactly.
Such a pain.
And there's no liquid market for it because it's not a global market. I mean, there is a liquid market, but it's very small and it's segmented. So you have all these reasons, like anybody looking for a great use case for on-chain, ironically, Pokemon cards might be leading the way this week.
There's also once you move it on-chain, now people on the internet know that you own it and can prove and verify that you own it. And so then you can create other experiences to those who hold those cards, which you can't do when they're just physically in your basement, right? Or let's say you're selling them over like eBay or something, you still can't do anything with them. And so this changes the game for these real world assets, which we talk about all the time, but usually in the finance side of things, now we're talking cards. So very interesting to see how that goes. I'm excited to get Courtyard on the podcast. I think that's going to be really cool.
Yeah, that'd be a really good one. All right. That's a wrap. What a show, Kai. It's so good to have you back. Can't believe all the exciting news that happened this week. It feels, I'm feeling bullish. You feeling good?
I mean, I've always felt bullish, so don't even ask me that. I felt bullish after FTX collapsed. I felt bullish after everything, right? So, but yeah, things look really good. We just got to be patient, as we've been saying for a few months now.
Don't forget.
I'm not very patient, so.
It's true, you're not very patient. Don't forget, grab our crypto investing course right now. Link is in the show notes, 33% off. You can pay with your crypto if you don't want to pay in fiat. And next week, Eyes on Chain event in our Discord, 12 p.m. Eastern next Tuesday. We'll see you there. Thanks so much for joining, everybody. Have a great day.
Thank you for listening to Web3 Academy, your one trusted source to capitalize on the next big phase of the internet. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it and subscribe or follow so that you don't miss the next one. While you're at it, there's a link in the description for our free newsletter where we provide timely and relevant Web3 insights so you can confidently build and invest in Web3. Make sure to subscribe today. One final note. This podcast is for educational purposes only, and nothing we say is financial advice. Crypto and Web3 are risky, and you should never invest more than you're willing to lose. Thank you, friends, and see you in the next one.